Hey Levi, how's it going?
Good man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I think although I went out for a run today and I'm spasming out right now. I think I hurt my lower back. Fun
Okay.
part. Um, but
What
listen,
was
I
the
wanted
run?
to
Okay,
the
cut me off.
run.
That's fine.
Trail run as
Okay.
usual, but I felt that I'm a bit potentially tired, and I was running with George, and then all of a
Okay.
sudden started feeling pain, lower back. I said, "Look, we turn back," and now I can barely walk. I feel like an old man.
Yeah, you need
So
to get
yeah,
that sorted, man.
fun parts of yep. It is what it is. At the end of the day, drinking a bit of water. Hopefully, it will pass.
Luck.
Um, but yeah, wanted to quickly touch base with you on next year's plan. I know
Yeah.
we've been talking about 2023 quite extensively over the past couple of months. We've been growing the team, obviously, which is super exciting. And I know we've touched based on what we need to achieve next year. We've set some realistic goals. We've definitely focused on making sure everything is achievable, even though the economic trend isn't the best right now. I think we've tried to be realistic with our forecasting. I'm pretty confident we achieved that. But just on that note, on that topic of growing our team, you know how we tried empowering our SDRs, and we kind of had that mentality from the beginning that an SDR shouldn't be a robot, shouldn't be someone that is just spraying out sequences and just randomly messaging thousands of people. How do you think we should, approach our not necessarily new, let's say our improved SDR training flow in order to make them feel even more empowered and even more giving them the ability to do the job better in a more relaxed fashion, but also show that we trust them.
That's a big question. I think it all starts with communication. Like you said, we're not looking for drones. We're not looking for people who can just sit there, add people to a random sequence, and shoot out thousands of emails. And we know that's not going to work in our industry. It's been trialed and tested. It's unfortunate. I mean, it would make a lot of people's lives easier, but it's not the reality. So I'd say as long as there's a clear understanding that whilst being a hunter here, we need to be the most proactive versions of ourselves possible. We're focusing on not only developing the types of deals we bring in, but alongside that ourselves and how we're looking to actually grow as an individual, then, get the message across as clear as possible. I'm sure the right people will join. I mean, we've seen that success with a few people in the team at the moment, and where they are currently and compared to how they were when they started the company, started their sales journey. It is actually amazing to see the growth that they've achieved in such a short space of time. Um, and as someone who's also, hands-on with the team as well as being a core part of the team, it's amazing to see everyone's growth, but it's also amazing to be able to see my growth as well. And that's only something that comes from communication. We can break that down a lot further, but you're the person who essentially grew the team. So what specifically about the way in which you've structured the team got you to this point?
Um, Thank you for those kinds of words. It's always nice to kind of hear that. Um, I think the most important aspect for me would probably be making sure that new people, not necessarily new SDRs, they can be account executives as well, are really masters of the art of listening,
Mm,
identifying pain points, offering value. So not just someone that can look at certain metrics and determine whether or not a prospect is a good prospect, but someone who can actually analyze information and make a decision based on their own judgment on how to thoughtfully start a conversation and how to educate the prospect into sharing his actual pain points,
yeah.
and then him being able to come up with a way to demonstrate the value that our services bring. It could be that you don't get this, so you don't identify a problem, and that's also fine. You've at least made and you've at least established a relationship. But ideally, I think salespeople need to be very good listeners before anything else. That's key in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. I don't remember when it was the last time we were speaking about it, but um, how did it go again? The person was asking in the discovery call for me to tell them, like to explain UpStack, to sell them UpStack, and I said to them, that's not really what I do. If that's what you're expecting, we can, end the call. My job here is to understand what you're looking for, and then see if we're a good fit, see if we can actually provide you the help that you need. But again, as we've seen from a lot of the LinkedIn outreach that we do receive, that probably isn't the approach with a lot of people. It is still that traditional push, 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 purchase my product, let's get things going kind of approach. So, I don't know, maybe you want to talk on a little bit about how the concept of getting people into that mentality works, because, you have to kind of do that from the beginning. And not everybody who has sales experience can unlearn what they've already learned. So when we are trying to find that right person, how do you balance that out?
I think the key here is to get someone who's got an open personality, someone that's coachable is a very heavy word in my opinion.
Mm,
How can you determine if someone is coachable? What does coachable actually mean? I think there's always a trade-off. Someone who comes in with some experience, they will obviously feel like they should normally be empowered because they've been in the industry already. They've already sold
mm,
various products or services. But I think that if you can find someone that can open up, and this probably ties in, letting the communication aspect aside, which is probably 80%. If you can find someone that you can have a human connection as well, not just a team member and an employee, someone that you can actually have a relationship with,
mm,
and if you demonstrate to them that you care about them, that you actually want to help them in their personal lives as well, not just helping them achieve their goals in their professional life, but also getting to that level, probably like you and I have. And that's why we have such a good working relationship, because we've helped each other out in various instances with personal problems. And I'm gonna make a quick parenthesis here. I know a lot of people are gonna say that you shouldn't really mix business with your personal life, and I agree to some extent. But how are you gonna get through that person? And we're still a small company at the end of the day. We're not a big enterprise company. There's a handful of people on the sales side. How are you gonna get through to everyone and have that meaningful connection and help them achieve professional success if you can't help them and you can't listen to their pain points throughout their day-to-day life as well? So I think that's the trade-off, finding someone that can open up,
yeah.
can be coached. But you get me as a leader, for instance. I also feel like I need to listen a lot and share from my personal opinion as well, where my pain points are, so that I open up to you guys as well.
No, absolutely, and it's definitely seen and felt in the team. Like you said, we do have a small team, so it's close knit. Um, I don't know. I think normally I would swear here, so I need to think of the word in English. But let's say to play devil's advocate, right? We have, as the team is growing, we're scaling. Well, as you said, we've created the new forecast, which is, it's realistic. It's actually reasonable. I'm not concerned about hitting those targets at all. I don't know. Now this is on video. It might come back to bite me in the butt, but let's see. But nonetheless, we will grow. The team will scale. How do you plan to maintain that mentality, the team ethos as the team gets bigger? Because that's only going to get harder, right?
It's definitely only going to get harder. And I think we notice this with every single new hire that comes on board. We realize that it becomes so much harder to keep the same ethos. But
Mm,
the idea is we're not going to keep the same ethos. We are going to evolve our culture as well. Every single new addition is going to have their own personality added to the mix. And I think that's the brilliant part of it. You don't need to keep the exact same things. You always get to select the team traits, the characteristics that you want, and form the team with that. So every single new addition, in my opinion, gets to have their own say in how the team culture is formed. And I think that's a very important factor that motivates them to actually want to be part of the team, and that demonstrates to them that they're not just pieces on a chessboard. They are important and valued team members, which opinions matter a lot. If anyone has any ideas, or if anyone has any suggestions with regards to your new process, an existing process, I think the fact that they can speak up about it and share their either concerns, frustrations, or joys about a specific topic is very important. And that for me is, or at least that was for me, a truly motivating thing that happened when I first joined UpStack, that I had this liberty and this freedom to try out new things, and I was truly empowered. I think that's why I turned out to grow the team as it did with you guys, and I trust you guys that you are literally the best thing that could have happened for the team, and I'm hoping that you guys feel that all the time, because I do trust everyone, and I do speak very openly with everyone. I share all my thoughts, all my frustrations, hopefully in a constructive way. But it's very important that we all learn from each other.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you, and for sure. I mean, I was the first person in the team, so I've seen the team grow, shrink, and then grow again. But 100%, I agree with you. You have empowered everybody to kind of just mainly just believe in themselves, really. I remember when I first joined, I was asking you questions like all the time. And from my perspective, it was like, all right, when are you just gonna stop doing this and just, take the trainer wheels off and just, be happy to make a mistake and learn from the mistake? Because it wasn't that I didn't know how to do what I was taught how to do. It was just, that fear of causing a problem. And then since then, to anybody who's joined, I just tell them make as many mistakes as possible. Cause problems, crash the CRM. I don't mind. Do what you need to do. Let's just, because we're going to learn, we're going to grow, we're going to develop. It's only going to improve the team. And it's that same aspect with the ethos as well. Everybody's perspective is really important, and it's kind of, I don't know if this is the right word, but almost as if it's fostered within the environment that we have. Like, be yourself. Don't hide who you are. Be who you are unapologetically, and make sure that comes across when you're conducting your sales as well. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of the best aspects of being in this sales team within UpStack. You can be in a sales position in many companies, and you're going to need to be rigid, have a specific persona, and act a certain way. Whereas whether you're in an internal call or an external call, you can literally be the same person. You're representing the company either way, and the company wants you to be who you are. It's very rare that you can get that in one, a company period, and two, especially a company with growth plans. Even though the world isn't looking that positive, it's still just amazing. But yeah, I think we've kind of spoken on the value part a lot, and we're probably going to end up touching back on communication again. But I was wondering real quick, we have had the experience of working with individuals who are not only new to sales, but also from a different industry. I'd love to know how you actually thought about motivating that person and helping them adapt and grow.
Good question. And that was definitely something on my mind, since we do actually have a case, right? So we've got a new AE joining. He hasn't sold in this industry that we're currently operating in. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a ramp up period, as opposed to someone who knows exactly what the service is and who our ideal clients are. But at the end of the day, some people like to say sales is sales, no matter what you sell. I'm not entirely on the same wavelength with that. So I don't think that selling apples, cars, or services is the exact same thing. Of course, there's a process to be followed, and that process can be taught. and can be mastered by probably anyone that's willing to do it. When you come from a different industry, it's really important to maybe turn the page. You've already
Yeah.
got a book full of knowledge that you have. It's time to not forget everything, not erase that all. It's
Mm.
just time to look back on, in retrospective, understand what some of the actions that you were doing could be implemented successfully in this new sales approach, but also be open to understanding how top performers in this industry are making a killer living. And that's probably the most important advice I'd like to share with anyone switching industries. You're really good at selling to your specific industry, to your specific niche, but whenever you're changing that, don't be scared to fail. Don't be scared to ask questions, and definitely don't be scared to reach out to your top performers in the company and shadow them. Take a page from that book. No one's reinventing the wheel. It's all about adding to your current skill set and improving your processes, improving your sales flow, and fundamentally becoming better at what you do. So that's my 2 cents on it. What do you think?
I mean, I can speak from my own experience, remember, because joining UpStack, I'd never even heard of this before in my life. I was like, what on earth? This sounds cool. Let me give it a go. Um, so, like I said previously, it was initially it was the fear of failing. Coming from, a background in financial sales, it's like if you fail, it's a wrap. So you always had to be at 100% and, kind of dealing with burnout whilst being burnt out. Whereas in UpStack, you kind of come in and one, I got a very warm welcome. It was like, okay, you do have knowledge. We do understand how you can use that knowledge, but you need to learn UpStack first, then you can apply that knowledge. So it was cool to actually have to turn that new page and actually start fresh and unlearn some of the things that I had previously learned, absolutely, because the approach just wouldn't work. Um, but it does take a certain, I don't know, willingness to take a step back at times. And as salespeople, we all have egos. We can't knock that. We do. It's the only way we can handle being rejected so much. But you deal with it, you move past it, you get to a point where you realize that you're actually in a very solid position. And I guess this kind of sums up a lot of what we've been speaking. You feel valued in a company. There's a lot of support in the company. There's a good structure for you to work within. And then, you are working with one of the top performers. So you're picking up best habits straight away. It just comes down to you as an individual. How much are you comfortable with taking that step back, and how comfortable are you with actually taking a jump back into the deep end? And in most cases, you're not going to have anything to keep you afloat. You just need to hope that your past experience and what you've learned carries you forward, and it will. You just got to be willing to, take that leap. It's cool. It's cool. It's definitely an experience. I would always recommend it as well. It always shows you there's a lot more that you can learn. Again, that's a very humbling experience. So it comes down to the individual, but that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, pretty solid. And now maybe just to kind of wrap up the conversation because we do probably have quite a lot of planning still left to do. I'm just thinking going into 2023, not necessarily the easiest year because the world as we know it has had some challenges in the past couple of years. But going into 2023, I think that the key with every sales team is going to be in one, motivating their entire team,
Mhm.
and two, making sure that once they're motivated, their confidence levels remain high. And I'm thinking it's a must that sales leaders get back in the trenches with their AEs, with their SDRs. They get on the same ground level. They start prospecting together. They talk to leads. They talk to clients. They get on and they actually do it. I think that's the best way to keep everyone motivated because you see that, there's no hierarchy. Literally, it's flat. Everyone, whether you're an SDR, managing SDR, AE, enterprise AE, VP, director, whatever you are, you're still contributing to the well-being of the team, and you're constantly showing everyone that, if you're able to do it, technically everyone should be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think
absolutely.
yep, that's
No,
definitely the
sorry, man.
most important takeaway that I have for 2023 is making sure everyone actually feels the confidence. Everyone benefits from everything that we do together as a team, and I'm always there to offer support, feedback, and guidance. Whether you're new to the team, you've been here, new to the industry, you've done it before, regardless, um, I've learned that it's amazing to be an individual contributor and it's amazing to be that MVP, but it's much
Mm.
better when your team actually ends up winning a championship.
Hey, those are some bars. I like it. I like it. That's like drop the mic. Let's call it quits. I like it. I like it. No, it should be good. It should be good. I'm really looking forward to 2023. It's gonna be exciting. And if that's the energy you're stepping with, let's do this, man. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Awesome. Cool, Levi. Thank you very much for jumping on the call today. Have a
Always,
lovely
man.
rest of your day, and I'll speak to you later.
Cool, man. Speak to you soon. Thanks for your time.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye.